Thanks for joining us today, where we're having a conversation with Annette Franz, an internationally recognized customer experience thought leader, coach, keynote speaker, and even author of the book Customer Understanding: 3 Ways to Put the Customer and Customer Experience in the Heart of Your Business. Annette, it's great to have you here with us today. Thanks for making the time to discuss this critical topic. From your vast experience of over 30 years or so, you know how critical customer experience is for organizations across each and every industry. From your perspective, what are the top 3 common mistakes that are made with regards to customer experience?
Thanks, Maureen. Thank you so much for having me. This is great. This is a great venue for us to be able to talk about some of the things that are important in terms of customer experience and the technology today. You know, I've been in this customer experience profession for 30 years, and unfortunately, I'm still seeing companies making the same mistakes and incredibly the same 3 mistakes. I love that you're asking about the top 3 common mistakes, but they are still making the top 3 mistakes continuously. I think number 1 is all about not having that executive commitment and alignment. And we've got to have both, right? They've got to be committed to the work that lies ahead, and they have to be on the same page. They all have to be aligned across the board, across the entire organization. The executive team has to be aligned on this commitment to, focus on the customer and the customer experience. And if they're not, it really does become hard to get the resources, whether it's financial, human, capital, time, whatever resources that folks need in order to do the work to improve the customer experience. Number 2 is the culture. If we don't have the culture that puts the customer at the center of the business and at the heart of the business, that's really what we're talking about, it becomes challenging work to do too. So what I'm really talking about is a customer-centric culture or a customer-centric organization. And I describe a customer-centric organization as one that really basically has no discussions, no decisions, no designs, without bringing in that customer voice, without asking, how will it impact the customer? How will it make her feel? What problems will it solve for her? What value does it deliver for the customer? That's so critical. And a lot of organizations don't yet do that or don't yet have those sort of, that sort of thought process. Probably number 3, and I know there are more than 3, would be not acknowledging the importance of the connection between the employee experience and the customer experience. We know that we drive the customer experience through our employees, right? So we need to make sure that our employees have a great experience. Without employees, we have no customers, and we have no customer experience really to focus on. So if we make sure that our employees are satisfied and engaged, it certainly makes it a lot easier to deliver a great experience for our customers. Maureen, I'm sure you can relate. I'm sure you've personally experienced some similar customer experience mishaps as well. And a lot of them probably are attributed to these 3 factors.
Well, there are many, but if I were to choose probably the most recent one, it's something that many people can relate to, where I misplaced my debit card, right? Should be pretty straightforward. But when I called to replace it, they said, sure, we'll send it to you. Many weeks went by, so a simple request for a debit card took 3 months of follow-ups, an hour at the branch, and all that needed to happen was automation, which brings me to my next question. So technology is often mentioned as a critical enabler for those employees that you mentioned to deliver on that customer-centric vision. So can you share some use cases or examples where technology such as a customer experience platform has been valuable to organizations to better serve their customers?
That's a great question. A lot of people think that technology is the experience, but the experience is very much human, right? Technology is a key part of delivering on the customer experience vision. It facilitates and it supports the experience that customers are having, but it is not the experience itself, right? We certainly have to make sure that our employees have the right tools to deliver the experience, but remember, the experience is very much human. The other thing to think about here is that data is really at the heart of designing and delivering a great experience. Having a customer experience platform that gives you control of your data and transforms it in a way that really allows you to optimize the experience for customers is what you'll need to make it through 2022 and beyond. If you don't have that, it's going to be a lot more challenging to deliver the experience that your customers expect, right? Speaking of expectations, to meet those expectations, we've got to take the time to understand our customers, right? One of the ways to achieve customer understanding is to listen, which combines feedback, however your customers choose to leave it, right? Whether you ask for it through a survey or, they provide it in whatever channel they want, online reviews, social media, etc., right? And then we combine that with what I call the breadcrumbs of data that customers leave behind as they interact and transact with the brand. When we marry those two pieces of data together, we have a really good understanding of who our customers are, what their expectations are, what the experience has been, and how well we're performing against that or not, right? So having a platform that helps you understand customers' intent, their journeys, and their behaviors really allows you to optimize their experiences. One of the things that we think about as we think about customer expectations is, what are those expectations, right? Customers want experiences that are personalized, convenient, and effortless, among a lot of other things, right? So with all that data, the feedback and the breadcrumbs in your customer experience platform, you can build a 360-degree view of your customer, and that really allows you to meet those expectations much more seamlessly. Customer experience platform that has predictive capabilities combined with journey orchestration and analysis allows you to deliver the right content, the right messaging, the right offers to the right customer at the right channel at the right time throughout the end-to-end experience. And that makes for such an awesome experience for your customers, right? Now, I know you had referred, Maureen, to the experience that you had with your bank. If your bank had used some of these latest tools and technology, imagine what that experience would have looked like, right? All the data available to them, knowing the latest support ticket, what was in front of them. They could have really been much more proactive and contacted you or alerted you and made it a much better experience than what they really did for you. I have a great example of a brand that, I use this example a lot. I've used it a lot over the last year, certainly used it a lot during the pandemic, a brand that does a really good job of delivering that seamless and personalized experience. It's Target, and I think everybody loves Target, right? They know me across their platforms. I can order on the website, open up the app on my phone, and everything that I've ordered on the site is there on the app. I can go back and forth between the two. When I'm done ordering, I can click submit my order. They've already got because I've got a Target Red card, they've already got all my information. It's so easy. When the order's ready, they notify me through the app. Pop up and a notification on my phone says it's ready. I click on that, say I'm on my way. As long as the GPS is on my phone, once I've even pulled up close to their parking lot, they know I'm there and they tell me, hey, tell me what parking spot you moved into or stepped into. I tell them the spot. A couple minutes later, my groceries are in my trunk. So seamless and so easy. And if I go into the store to return something, I don't have to show a receipt. They've already got it all captured. All I have to do is actually just give them my red card. So that's a great example of a brand that really is doing this right and is delivering a fairly seamless experience across platforms. I think one of the other things that helps brands to personalize the experience are some predictive analytics and having a platform that offers up the ability to make recommendations to customers based on previous purchases or previous actions, and then curate the experiences that customers desire based on that. I think that's so powerful. It helps you to be proactive, and that's certainly an experience or an expectation that your customers have today. Know me, know what I want, be there, and be there before I know I need you, that kind of a scenario. So absolutely powerful to have all of that data and have that platform that can deliver on all of this for you, right? So it's an important platform that everyone should have in their tech stack, absolutely. There are so many different ways to use it to be there where your customers are and to meet their expectations. So customer experience platform, obviously what we're talking about, it is really a great platform to stay ahead of or stay in front of and stay with your customers today.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing. Those are great insights. So you're basically telling me that it was easier for you to pick up groceries with, them knowing exactly what location you were, than me ordering a debit card from my bank. But anyway, you touched on a lot of very important things, data being one of them. So if you could have imagined that call center agent that I called multiple times, different call center agents, could only see debit card issuance. They could not see that there were documents required to be attached to my account and that it was suspended. So had they had that 360-degree view of me as a customer, really knowing me, as you said, we could have managed that very early in the process. And that's just basic, right? There's the predictive part, which is really what customers are expecting today. So let's look ahead for a moment. Let's say 5 to 10 years ahead. How do you anticipate customer experience evolving? And what steps do you think organizations should make today in order to adequately prepare for this?
Thanks, Maureen. That's a great question. We definitely need to look ahead, obviously. Who knew, who knew 10 years ago where we'd be today, right? And today there is really such a rapid rate of change. And I think that's going to continue, and I think we're going to continue to build on that, right? I don't think that's ever going to shift. We're in it, and we've got to keep moving through it and remember that it's important to stay on top of and ahead of changes that are happening within the organization, with your employees, with your customers, all around. So I think AI, automation, and technology are going to continue to play larger roles in delivering the experience. They already do, but I think that's just going to continue to evolve. I think, speaking of things that evolve, customer expectations are going to continue to evolve as well. So we already believe that those expectations are high today. They certainly were amplified throughout the pandemic, but they're going to continue to evolve over time as, the marketplace changes, as their needs change, as, families grow and evolve, and different things like that will really drive expectations. And certainly having experience with other brands outside of your industry, Gotta remember that too, right? Your competitor is not just the person or the company in your industry that you thought was your competitor. Your competitors are outside of your industry now because they're the ones who are setting the expectations for that experience for your customers. Digital transformations. If you haven't transformed your digital capabilities within your organization or the digital experience, it's got to be a priority. And for those of you who are well on your way or who have done it, it has to continue to be prioritized and accelerated because you've got to stay on top of that. Again, expectations change. The experience is going to change. It's not going to be what customers expect tomorrow or 10 years from today, right? So I want to just amplify the fact that these digital transformations, you're never done. It's always a continuous improvement process. And so I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. The final thing that I really want to call out is about the employee experience, right? It's going to continue to evolve as well. We're seeing today more than ever that employee expectations have not just evolved, but they've just shifted and changed completely. I think they were always there, but I think companies didn't listen. And I think now, in a time where employees have the center stage, companies are listening, and that's just going to happen. Workplaces and how we work will not be the same as it was 2 years ago or 5 years ago. That's going to continue to evolve as well, and people are going to be working in different places, and so we've got to make sure that we adapt the experience to our employees, right? Really have to think about the tools and the technology that employees are going to need to make that happen, not only for their day in and day out jobs, but again, to deliver the experience for your customers that your customers expect as well. How do we prepare for that? I think there are 3 things that we really have to take into account, right? And it's all wrapped up in the data. Data is so important to designing and delivering a great experience. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, right? So data, know how it's gathered, where it's stored, how and by whom it's accessed, right? How is it shared throughout the organization and with whom, right? All of that needs to be figured out pretty quickly, and you've got to have the tools for that real-time access and for real-time usage, right? And the second thing is customer understanding. I've talked about this already, right? Because those expectations continue to evolve, it's going to be more important than ever that you keep your finger on the pulse of your customers, who they are, what problems they're trying to solve, what the expectations are, and more. This was a problem early on in the pandemic. Not enough companies had a really true understanding of who their customers are and their needs and their behaviors and the problems they were trying to solve. So they struggled through that. So get on that and stay on top of that. Really take the time to truly understand your customers. And to do that, you've actually got to talk to them. And I think the last thing that I want to call out is employee understanding, right? There are a lot more things that you'll need to do to prepare for, what lies ahead. But I think to wrap it up, employee understanding is a good thing, right? Employees have always been an afterthought when it comes to the business, and certainly when it comes to the customer experience. We hired the employee to do a job. Now go do it. That's been what the employee experience has been over the last X number of years, right? And that's no longer acceptable, right? Without taking into consideration any of our employees' needs, their expectations, how and where they like to work, what motivates them, and more. That's a challenge, right? We've got to take the time to listen to them and deliver for them an experience that makes their lives a lot easier too, right? It's time for leaders to care about our employees. They are all essential. Without employees, you have no customer experience and you have no business.
That makes a lot of sense considering the rapid pace of change that we are seeing in the market. I'm sure many are wondering if they are adequately preparing for what's to come next. Thank you, Annette, for taking the time to share your experience with us. It was truly a pleasure having this insightful discussion with you today. Now, we have just scratched the surface here regarding the challenges and opportunities in the vast topic of customer experience. To understand how other organizations are preparing for what's next, be sure to visit the Microsoft Customer Experience Platform page. After all, time is of the essence in the race to truly stand out in a crowded market. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your journey to provide that superior customer experience.